Hey, this is Brian again, and I'd like to ask you to do a favor. We can't do this work without people like you, so if you can, please like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends about Bring Back the Porch.
And I came across Medicine Hat from a real estate post. I was like, oh, why not? I'm very proactive. And so when I saw Medicine Hat, I knew this was the community I wanted to go. So I thought this was a nice way to get the attention, even though a job wasn't posted at the time.
This episode of Bring Back the Porch brought to you by Bernie Leahy, River Street Realty. Let's get you home. And at this time on the porch, I'd like to welcome Tracy Tawiah, an economic development specialist with the City of Medicine Hat Economic Development. Welcome to the porch.
Thank you.
Now, we were just talking. You've been here 2 years now.
Yes, right on, 2 years.
And the climate hasn't chased you away.
No, it's actually nicer down here. I don't know if it's global warming or something going on, but there has been a switch. So in Toronto, this year, the winter was terrible. Mm-hmm. And we were having lots of sunshine and people were wondering, are you sure you're in Alberta or did you lie to us? Like, yeah, this is Medicine Hat and that's just the sunniest city in Canada. So
you got on the phone and said, you got to come live here.
I did, and I've still been shouting that to all my friends. Recently, my brother moved here just a month ago. So 2 years later, and I brought one more person with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's kind of what your job is to bring people to Medicine Hat.
Yes, it's both on the talent attraction and investment attraction, all of those things. I know you already spoke to Al Sharma, our investment attraction manager, so I won't go into his realm of affairs. We'll deal with only workforce today.
Yeah. You became involved with the City of Medicine Hat when you were still going to University of Toronto, I believe. You got involved in a project that got noticed, and they noticed you.
So it was the University of Waterloo that I did my master's degree in economic development. And so we were tasked with a class project to pick a community of choice and also select a target group to advertise that community to. So we had options from choosing investors to community members, workforce, any which way. And I decided to pick young people looking for work. And I came across Medicine Hat from a real estate post. I was like, oh, why not? I'm very proactive. And so when I saw Medicine Hat, I knew this was the community I wanted to go. So I thought this was a nice way to get the attention, even though a job wasn't posted at the time. So I selected Medicine Hat as that community and did some research. At the time, there wasn't too much I could find, but I did see something on, I believe, Tourism Medicine Hat's YouTube channel and put together a video and presented that to my class. But the main thing I highlighted on was the affordability, because that was what caught my attention. It was a real estate post about a house going for $150,000. I was like, where is this place? Get me there now. Yeah. And I wasn't at the point in my life where I was looking to buy a home or anything like that. But just for the future, I knew that place wouldn't be Toronto, at least in the interim. So I was really excited to explore that opportunity. I presented that to my class and then posted that on my LinkedIn and tagged the City of Medicine Hat. And it got the conversation going. People were like, how did you hear about us? Why did you select our community? And after that conversation, I noticed the Medicine Hat Economic Development had posted some jobs. At the time, it was for an economic development officer, and that was somewhere in December. I was still in school. That didn't work out, and they posted another position somewhere in February. I applied, and then by April, when I was done with my program, I just moved. Okay. I hadn't visited Medicine Hat before. I didn't know anybody. I just up and left.
Just like that.
Just like that.
So you come to Medicine Hat with a conviction that this is the place to be.
Yes.
You're not just reading off of a prepared statement or something. It's in your heart.
No, yeah.
Well, that's good. So how's it been going for you in the last 2 years?
Pretty good. I think it has grown on me. When I first came, actually just landed at the airport, I was looking around. I was like, okay, this is very different. And I was at the hotel downtown. I can't remember the name of the hotel. I stepped out to just take a walk and look around to see what the community is like. about 4 people who met me on the way waved and just said, hello, good morning. And I was wondering, I'm like, okay, this is really still very different because Toronto is such a fast-paced city. Nobody really cares. Everybody is just going about their business. Nobody even smiles at you, rarely ever. And so it was very different. It's like, okay, this is nice. This is welcoming. This is great. And since then, I've been involved in different activities with the Connection Intercultural Association that's run by Councillor Yusuf Mohammed. They organize really good events for newcomers, new residents to connect with the existing residents in the community. So I've attended a lot of their events, and that's how I've really been connected with other people in the community. So now I do have friends, even though I didn't know anybody before moving here. And my work colleagues have also been really supportive with showing me places to go to get what. So it's really been a good experience so far.
One of the things that you're working on is the Rural Renewal Immigration Program, which I guess is coming back again in May after being paused last year. How does that whole thing work?
That's right. Rural Renewal Immigration Program. So that's an employer-driven program to support the retention and attraction of skilled workers. It's very hard not to look at the city as an immigration firm because we are kind of running this program, which is an immigration program. But we keep telling people we are not an immigration firm. We don't necessarily answer immigration questions. But this program is run at the provincial level for temporary foreign workers to be able to get their permanent residence and then stay in the community of choice. But what the province has done is downloaded some level of responsibility on the community to be able to vet the candidates that go through the program. So we do the vetting. We speak to employers to understand their workforce needs, to understand as to why they need to use this program. And then we issue endorsement letters to their employees, and they can use those endorsement letters to apply for the immigration program with the province and get their permanent residence. So it's a bit of a process, but that process is to ensure the integrity of the program. It starts with an employer consult, like I said, to ask about their workforce needs, to see if there's a need to hire from either out of the community, out of the province, or out of the country. And then based on how that conversation goes, we can either proceed to support their employee or to support them hiring from out of the community or out of the country. And if that doesn't seem to be the case, we would refer them to either the YMCA or to other partners in the ecosystem. So we do work with lots of groups. We work with the YMCA, with Ready Enterprises, with Community Futures, with the college, to ensure that employers are well connected. There were some employers in the program early on that we told, look, you may not be able to hire from out of country. We won't be able to support that. But YMCA has people that are looking for jobs. You can assess talents through this program. And they also have some grants that if you hire people through their program, you're able to assess. And the employer was like, wow, I didn't know this. So it was just that information sharing that helped. They went there, were able to hire someone, and that was of benefit to their business. So it has been a good experience so far with this program. There have been some challenges along the line too, but we are happy to resume the program after doing some evaluation with revised and modified changes.
I think you had 134 endorsement letters in the first go-round.
Yes.
Do you have a goal for this time, or whatever it happens to be?
That's a tough one.
It's hard to know how many people might be out there in that.
Yes, we do have. The province has assigned allocations to each community as to the number of endorsements that they will support in a given year. And we are going along those numbers. I can't necessarily share that on air, but we'll be working along those numbers, not because we want to restrict people from using the program, but we want to be able to manage expectations. We don't want people to waste their time and money because this costs money to go through this program. There's a $350 fee at our level. There's another fee they pay at the provincial level. And so we want to ensure that people are moving forward in the process once they get the endorsement letter.
How would an employer find you to talk about this opportunity? Let's pause for a moment so we can share some exciting news. We're proud to announce that our work here at Bring Back the Porch is getting noticed. From October to the end of January, our videos and reels viewed more than 1 million times. Some of those viewers could be your customers, so sponsoring Bring Back the Porch is a great way to get your message in front of them too. If you'd like to support our work here at Bring Back the Porch, we ask you to go to our website at bringbacktheporch.com and follow the links. Thank you for your support.
So we do have our website. It's long. I can't necessarily mention that here, but we have an email address, immigration@medicinehat.ca. I respond to emails fairly quickly, usually in 1 business day. We usually give 3 to 5 business days, but I'm pretty quick with the emails. So if they have any questions, they can reach out. And if any further information is required, I'm able to schedule phone calls with the employers that way.
I said the word opportunity, but you have another program that caught my eye because of the way that it's spelled. It says Opportunity Medicine Hat, but the T-O-U-R is capitalized to stand out, and that got my attention. Tell me more.
Wordplay right there with our comms team. Kudos to them for coming up with that. But this was modeled after a similar program that we had last year. Actually, no. Time is gone really quickly. 2024, we had something similar for investment attraction where we invited investment influencers from the province, from the feds to come down to Medicine Hat for an experience, to go through our key industries, visit key places in the community. And the responses or the feedback that they came back with was, wow, I have heard about Medicine Hat. I have seen the name. But this experience, it gives me something to go to invest this with. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference. When they have been in the community, they are better able to speak to things in the community than just seeing it online or just reading all our social media posts and newsletters and things like that. And so we thought, well, why not? Let's do this for workforce as well. For our employers who are really struggling to fill key roles, especially in engineering. You might have heard of landing zones, Methanex, Concarb, our top employers who struggle to find these skills in our community. And so this program is to help bridge that gap. And so through funding we receive from the government of Alberta, we are going to post-secondary institutions. Actually, I was in Edmonton 2 weeks ago to speak to students at NAIT and University of Alberta. I was speaking to power engineering and instrumentation students at NAIT, and then at U of A, it was electrical engineering students, both undergrad, master's, and PhD actually. And then I went to the computer science and AI class as well to speak to them about opportunities in Medicine Hat. And it was surprising. I asked, how many of you have been to Medicine Hat? And there were just few hands raised. And by the time the presentation was done, everybody was going, ha. And lots of people came to talk to me after that presentation to ask more questions to see what opportunities are there. And they've been applying to this program. We've had over 80 applications come through since then.
80?
Exactly.
That's encouraging.
Exactly. So there is interest in Medicine Hat. And that's what we are doing. We are looking to promote the community. We are looking to promote the city to get people interested in moving here. Now, the nice part of this, where you highlighted the tour, is to bring down 20 candidates, because this is government funded, we couldn't expand it, 20 candidates into Medicine Hat to meet with the employers and also to have a tour of the community, understand the lifestyle, see people say hello, which they typically wouldn't say in the bigger centers, right? And also experience the community for themselves. And the goal is that with this, they'll be able to make more informed decisions with accepting job offers. When they see the jobs posted online, they just see Medicine Hat. It's like, where is this? Someone actually asked me, is Medicine Hat the name of the company hiring? I'm like, no, it's the name of the city, right? So you come here and you have that experience and they go back with stories. Some of them will be making posts on their social media and that amplifies the name of the community. Mm-hmm. And for those who may not find opportunities now, Medicine Hat is on their mind for future opportunities at least.
It's kind of sad in a way that people have not heard about the good news of Medicine Hat, but it's also, I guess, hopeful that you are telling people that we have a great community here. And as I said to Mayor Clark, you can live better in Medicine Hat. And I said, there's a slogan you can take, no charge, you can run with it. But when people do come here and see for their own eyes, as you say, they experience the community, they, I guess, find out that we are the best kept secret.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the best way to frame it, is the best kept secret.
Yeah. Another thing that you're working on, too, is the Competency-Based assessment tool. Now, that sounds very bureaucratic.
And that's an interesting one. It's actually the International Talent Recognition and Assessment Program. So it's pretty long, but it's in two folds. One, we did realize that we have a growing newcomer community in Medicine Hat. A lot of our population growth has actually been from immigration and migration from the bigger centers. Now, a challenge that we do see, or we have heard, is that the skilled workers struggle to find jobs. They have experience from their home countries and they have high education from their home countries, but they struggle to find jobs. Employers, on the other hand, also say we can't find people to do the work. So there's a disconnect. And so this project was meant to bridge that gap. Employers, we find, may not necessarily understand what those credentials look like, what that experience is. You see someone put education on their resume and it shows from Ghana, for example, or from China, from somewhere else, and you just don't understand how it equates to Canadian education, or you don't understand what the equivalency is. This program was meant to educate employers on that portion. So we are working with a consultant, Pivotal Research. They are based in Edmonton, and they've been doing a lot of work in credential recognition space. So we had them do this session, speak to employers about it, to help employers understand that there are tools available that you could use to assess their credentials. That includes World Education Service, WES is what most people call it. There's also ICAS, International Qualification Assessment Service, I believe, that employers can use to find out what the Canadian equivalency is. Now, the second portion of that is the competency-based assessment tool. And that's to help assess skills of people beyond their resume. So that applies to everybody, not just newcomers, but everybody. Sometimes employers look at a resume and it just looks like, toss it in the pile. This is a no, this is a no, this is a no. But you do need people. So how do you assess something in 5 seconds of looking at that resume? This tool is going to help employers answer key questions as to, really, when you look at your job description, when you look at the role that you're looking to fill, what's the key thing in there? What would be necessary for a candidate to have versus what's optional? What's non-negotiable versus what can I train? And so this tool would help employers answer those questions and be able to look at the resumes with a different eye to see what they can work with. And so the tool is not out yet. We are hoping maybe to launch that towards the end of April or early May. That would be on our social media pages, our newsletters, and we will be looking to promote that amongst employers in the community. So folks should watch out for that.
Yeah, it sounds interesting because, like, as someone who used to hire, you could look at a resume and, okay, yeah. but what can you do?
Exactly.
What can you do? And how do I know what this person can do? So this tool might help there.
Exactly. That's our hope.
And the other thing you're working on is the City Viz, V-I-Z, data portal. That sounds interesting.
Yes, because that's all data, and people like data.
Data can wash over you. It's trying to like drink from a fire hose sometimes.
Yes. We worked with a consultant as well for this project, and that's the name of the consultant. It's CityViz. That's the name of their company. We know for a long time people have been looking for local data, things related to Medicine Hat in workforce, population, just economic indicators, even real estate data as well. And people have had to look in different spots. They're looking Statistics Canada, they're looking Government of Alberta, portal, you're looking different areas, different reports. It's like, which one do I believe? Which one is accurate? Which year is this? And sometimes people don't even know how to navigate these portals.
And they give up.
And they don't use it anymore. So what this tool does is it puts everything together in one place. So that could be overwhelming too, because you visit this website and it's just full of data and graphs and charts. It explains what it is. It shows you the numbers. It shows you the source, whether it's Statistics Canada, whether it's Government of Alberta. It shows you the source. It puts everything in one place. And so we are hoping that this is going to help make our community investment ready. For investors looking at doing something in Medicine Hat, you'll be able to have the numbers to know what's the workforce in this community looking like. How many people have a bachelor's degree, or how many people have a diploma in this community? Which areas are in high demand? Which industries are their key sectors? And things like that. It answers those kind of questions. If you're looking at real estate, what's available versus what's not available, and those kind of things. Gradually, we'll be looking to break down the data on that portal for our viewers and our listeners to be able to consume that, because we understand that that could be overwhelming. So that's coming. Right now, we have it launched. It's on our website, insights.medicinehats.ca. Once you go there, you'll be able to find what you need. But down the line, we'll be looking to break down the information as well to simplify it for everyday people.
It sounds like you're pushing all the right buttons. I think Medicine Hat is on the precipice of good times. We've just recently seen the announcements about the work that will be done out at CFB Suffield again, with as well as with Battis. So good things are happening in Medicine Hat, and we need to shout.
Yes,
tell everybody.
Good things that happen. Should I shout?
Yeah.
No,
come
not
to
literally.
Come to
but
Medicine Hat.
Yes. I do encourage people to come to Medicine Hat, especially the young people when you're starting out life. The affordability is necessary. It gives you a head start in life.
The quality of life is important.
Yes. Exactly.
Tracy, thank you for the visit.
Thank you for having me. Actually, before we go, I'd like to thank all our partners, because all this work that we do will not be possible without our partners. So thank you to Medicine Hat College, Community Futures Antrocorp, the Southeast Alberta Chamber of Commerce, Ready Enterprises, Medicine Hat Local Immigration Partnership, BCIS, Brooks County Immigration Services, Samus Immigration. I hope I have mentioned everybody that we work with, but for all our partners, really, Clayton Willoughby from the Government of Alberta as well. All the work that we do will not be possible with all these partnerships and relationships. We make sure to do the work together. It's a very collaborative community, so we do things without duplicating efforts, which is what makes the work great and easy.
Well, many of the people that you mentioned are friends of the porch here too, so we're
Amazing.
glad to help. We're glad to help.
That's great.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Hey, this is Brian again, and I'd like to ask you to do a favor. We can't do this work without people like you, so if you can, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about Bring Back the Porch.